Hello everyone, my name is Eric Taryn Mullins, and I write, illustrate, and self-publish my own manga. I've been doing it for the past 9 years, and it's called Blithe. You can check it out right here. While I've been doing this, I watch tons of anime. I usually watch dub, but whenever I'm given a moment of free time, which is super rare, I'll actually get into some subtitles. Keep in mind, folks, that these are my own opinions when I do these kind of reviews and things like that, so, take it with a bit of a grain of salt. And if ever you have your own opinions, don't be afraid to write so in the comment section below. I love a good conversation. With that aside, I need your help deciding if it's worth watching Attack on Titan. And please try to be kind of spoiler-free. I would also love if you could include the negatives with the positives. There are too many people out there with blindfolds on, just swinging around their torches, and I don't think that this show has no negatives. And I'm much more receptive to somebody's opinions and also perspective when they have the ups to go with the downs. Now, it's taken them a little over 10 years to make these 97 episodes. That's roughly 33 hours to be able to get through that series. And I've accounted for the OVAs. They were bundled up with manga, I believe. I'm not exactly 100% sure. I also seem to recall back in the day there being a horrible ending, and then all of a sudden they got the band back together and they kept making more of the series in order to polish things out and make the ending better. I'm not exactly sure this either. I didn't follow too much of the Attack on Titan drama over the years. Back in 2013, I had watched the show as it was being released, week per week. I remembered it starting off with an intense ferocity, which was so rare for anime at that time. And they really pushed that intensity all the way through each episode, and I kind of remember it being throughout the whole season. I remember them even doing it for some of the slower paced episodes, and at one point I just kind of got numb to it all. Kind of like a sharp blade being dragged along the ground, dulled out. Specifically around the middle of the first season, that's kind of like when I had just had enough. Spoilers ahead, people, you've been warned. The episode after Eren turns into a Titan, you've got all the garrison that are pointing their guns at him and his two pals. And for real, this is like a very long 20-minute episode where almost nothing's happening. They're just talking about nothing until nothing left to talk about. And then the episode ends, and I remember having to wait a whole week to see the next episode. I was not particularly happy. They dragged that out, and then consecutively each episode after that, the whole thing where Eren's picking up the rock and plugging that hole for them Titans to come into the city, even that was so long-winded. It just went, oh my gosh, it just took so long. So I just kind of got tuned out. I did, however, manage to finish the rest of the first season, but honestly, I don't really remember the ending. I don't remember a lot of it. I just have like specific key moments that pop in and out of my head. And to remember that moment specifically, like those middle episodes, it really must have dragged on because it left a good imprint. But one thing I do have to mention is that animation quality. My goodness, when they were going out, they were going out. It was so impressive. And even the art style was beautiful. Like the eyes, freaking love them. Though despite them not always fitting maybe the faces or bodies of the characters we're seeing, it felt like such a divergence in art styles. Like somebody was drawing the bodies while somebody else would be drawing the faces. I don't know how they did it, but it was very unique. And despite only seeing the first season, I still listened to the soundtrack to all of the series because it was freaking epic. But these are all, like subjective opinions. I have no idea how the art style and things like that may have evolved over the years. For real, 10 years is a really long time, and it seems to go by in just a blink of an eye. I'm gonna get real with all of you here, so if any of you are rather empathic individuals, I would suggest skipping to the next chapter on the timestamp, because it's about to get really dark here. So many things can happen in a lifetime, and perhaps this is why I've never been one to really jump on the trauma anime bandwagon. I tend to love romance and drama with sprinkles of comedy all around. I'm not really somebody that likes to be pegged as a victim, and so I tend to express myself or tell people some of the things I've gone through in life as quickly as possible or in a joke manner where most of the time people don't even think I'm being serious. Just talking right now is kind of making me feel incredibly anxious and uncomfortable, but I'm gonna do it because it's going to give you a better perspective of the kind of person I am and why it is that I tend to enjoy what I like. Also, it'll maybe help you think if maybe I should steer clear of Attack on Titan altogether, or if it actually is worth going through. In my life, I've had somebody break into my apartment, vandalize it, and then injure my cat in a way that she unfortunately couldn't recover from. I survived a school shooting. It was awful. I had been screwed at one point, and I was on the ocean, and I was in a small boat with, it was thunder and lightning. I honestly thought I was gonna die at that point in my life. It was awful, and I really didn't think I was gonna make it. I was part of a holdup where somebody put a gun to my head, and all I could think of was I just started laughing. And honestly, laughter is something I tend to do often in these uncomfortable or really rough situations. I don't do it on purpose. It's just, I guess it's a bit of like my defense mechanism. It's just making these stupid jokes are a way for my brain to kind of create a band-aid to just keep everything from falling apart. Like, it's just not, I don't know how to explain it, you know? It's just people deal with things in different ways, and if I'm not making fun of it, then I guess it just makes it more real, and it's so insane that my brain's just like, no, that's stupid. You have to make fun of that because it's so ridiculous that it just can't, it can't be real. And my wife too has gone through some absolute horrible, horrible moments in her life that actually rival my own. Like, what the hell? So when we watch something, seeing a person attempt to overcome all the pain and injustices of an unfair world, it can actually be a driving force behind us seeing things like that, or reading them, or just getting involved with it. But most of the time, we're kind of looking for a lighter subject matter. I strive to keep a positive attitude and work every single day to normalize the PTSD that I've gone through, and doing everything to not make it a detriment in my life. I just can't have its bearings hold me so tight, you know? Like, it's constantly, it feels like it weighs me down, so I do things on purpose to break out of that so that it doesn't control me and that my life is my own. And I won't let something stupid like past traumas ruin the potential of watching something that could actually make me feel really great. Whether it's got a happy ending or a bad ending, I don't care as long as it's well written and well structured. I have to just think like a robot and focus like that. That's how I do everything in my life, with my humor. To give you a good example, Evangelion is one of my favorite animes of all time. I freaking love this series. However, I just don't have the heart to watch their 1 point whatever movies that they came out with after the OG, because I'm kind of just scared that it's going to ruin that classic that I really loved. Not here to talk about Evangelion, though there are some similarities between the two anime from what I remember. Look, Attack on Titan is finally over, right? At least as of November 2023. I love when a series comes to an end. I've mentioned this on multiple episodes in my channel. I guess I'm just not really sure if the ride is worth it. Without giving anything away, and maybe being as extremely vague as possible, what did you like most about this series? And at the same time, what did you like the least? This show is heralded as being one of the greats. So, am I truly missing out if I decided to skip it? Honestly, I don't know. I have such little time in my life, and should I really squeeze Attack on Titan in there? So I'm asking you to please go hard, Attack on Titan fans. For real, convince me that this series is worth it, because I don't want to miss out on something that's incredible just because of things that have happened in my life that might, you know, make me think otherwise. If you like my video just a little bit, it doesn't cost much to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell. This way you'll be notified of future episodes and you won't miss out on anything. I mean, who knows, perhaps I do an Attack on Titan review in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome rest of your day. Bye! Oh, I remember the gal with the glasses. I don't remember her name, but she was my favorite character in the whole series. She's that one that would always do like the tests on the Titans and things like that. She seemed a little crazy, but a little funny too. I like that. I feel like if I was stuck in the world that Attack on Titan takes place in, we would work really well together, her and I. This is, of course, based off of what I've seen in the first season. Who knows? Maybe at the beginning of season 2, she slips, smashes her head into a rock, and that's it for her.